Welcome to the Masterful Coach Podcast with Molly Claire. If you're a coach who's ready to impact more lives, make more money, and create a life you love, you're in exactly the right place. Get the support you deserve as a female entrepreneur. Master your coaching skills, grow your ideal business, and honor your priorities in your personal life. Are you in? Let's get started with your host, best-selling author and master life and business coach, Molly Claire.
Hello, coaches. I'm bringing to you today a conversation with the amazing Lydia Bai, who is one of my master coaches. And she coaches women who are feeling dissatisfied in their careers to be able to really connect with themselves and their desires and sift through the decision for what is next for them. One of my favorite things about this episode, and something I actually did not know before this conversation, is that just a year ago, Lydia was pretty hesitant about continuing with her coaching path. She wasn't really sure about the sustainability of this coaching business. And she said, okay, I'm going to give it a year. And then if it's not working out, I'm going to go back to my other career. And this episode was so phenomenal because just hearing the shifts in Lydia and her confidence and her sense of self that's been strengthened is incredible. So I have no doubt you are going to be inspired by this episode. Before we dive into this conversation, I want to make sure that you know that the doors for Master Coach training are open, but are closing on Monday, the 18th. Master Coach training is the ultimate opportunity for you to find your own sense of self, your own sense of deep confidence and certainty, along with the coaching fundamentals that you need in order to be the most fantastic coach you can possibly be, the coach that gets the results your clients want. So if this is what you are looking for, either click in the show notes to apply or go to mollyclaire.com where you can submit your application. I am reviewing applications personally. This program is very personal, very high touch, tailored to you. And as such, I like to go through each application and make sure that this next group is a perfect fit. So, you can either go to the website or you can click in the show notes. So that's what I've got for you for this quick intro and reminder about Master Coach training. And without any further ado, a conversation with Lydia Bai. All right, coaches. So I'm so happy to bring to you today Lydia, who is one of my master coaches in training, almost Master Coach certified. And thank you, Lydia, for coming to have a conversation.
Of course, Molly, any chance to talk to you and I'm in.
I feel like I can't tell you how often I'm just like, we have got to all be together in the same place in person, right? And one of these days, and it just hasn't quite gotten there. It just hasn't quite happened, but I know we have a good time. All right. So Lydia, thanks again for being willing to share your experience really of shifting in your coaching. And I would love to know from you, where were you when we first connected before Master Coach training, as far as, I mean, anything, right? In your business or how you were working with people? I'd love to get an idea of what things were like for you then.
Absolutely. And yeah, because I always want to rush to where I am now and share that, but I think it'll be great to share where I was in the beginning. So when I first started Master Coach training, I had actually just finished Create Your Killer program, your program, Molly. And that program and just working with you was just so honestly life-changing because you just hearing you talk created so much value in my life. And just meaning I have the coaching foundations, the thought work and everything, but I didn't realize that even though I wanted to be successful in my business and be a better coach, thought work wasn't enough. And of course, this is no shade at all to any of my previous life coach trainings. I just needed
Of course.
more. Well, actually, Create Your Killer program showed me the importance of understanding how I could help people and having my own coaching plan figured out. And it was the first step in me learning how to get out of my own way. And I had a taste of that and I wanted some more because I saw, even just from that program, how much I had become a better coach by
Mhm.
really focusing on the client and how I could best serve them.
I
Yeah.
want to I actually want to go back to what you were sharing about Create Your Killer program as those like first steps, and then come back here because I think a lot of the things you said there were really relevant and will be gold for my audience.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
So so yeah, as Lydia, as you were talking about that program, I think one of the things you said that is really important to highlight is as you start working on Create Your Killer program and you start understanding really how to take the foundation that you had of thought work coaching and being able to personalize it, have a new way of offering that, and also in that kind of expanding your coaching ability. One of the things you said was you realized you needed more, and this was no shade to any prior training. And the reason I want to highlight this is I think we can have this idea in the coaching space that one methodology or approach is the better or the best, or that they're at odds with each other, or that once we have one thing, like that's the end of what we need to know. And I think that in truth, what's a much more whole view of this is that, I mean, think about this, Lydia. Like, think about our clients, right? We're supporting our clients. They're coming to us with all the things going on in their life, even if they come to us for one thing, right? So we're speaking with human beings, all of whom are going to be a little bit different. We're working with their thoughts, their emotions, understanding their patterns. There is so much to be learned. And so I think that as coaches, we have such a responsibility to continue our training and education and expand, right? Because how else are we really supposed to best serve our clients? So I just wanted to highlight that because it is an interesting thing, right? As if we think when we're talking about something else giving us something great, as if we're saying something bad about what we had before, which is not necessarily, just really not true, right?
Absolutely.
And so, and those of you listening, so Create Your Killer program, it's a 6-week program, and it's actually, the curriculum is all included in Master Coach training. But for some of my clients, they start with that. And it really is when you can take the time to define your program and really define the way you work with people. It does give such a good foundation. And so it's been really fun also, Lydia, as you've continued in Master Coach training, right, to then adjust and revamp. And I think that it's like an evolving thing of shifting the way we serve our clients.
Yes, Molly. I really wish I could just add on to this, but I'm gonna go back to where I started because I just want to just say, yeah, and then I worked on this and I worked on this.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So tell us. So you came, you do Create Your Killer program, and then there you are deciding to start Master Coach training.
Yes. And who I was, or how I was as a coach, was I don't know if this coaching thing can sustain me. Honestly, I was having doubts. It's really hard to get clients. I gave myself to the end of the year. If I am not successful, then I'm going to try to go back into my previous job that I had in finance.
Yeah. I love that you share that, because I think a lot of coaches can relate to this. It's like we get excited when we're first starting, right? And then when we're actually in and maybe we're struggling with different clients and wondering, okay, how do I best help them? And then you have the business piece, that it's very common for us to think, okay, well, I'm going to give this a try, but I don't know if this is going to be sustainable. I don't know if this is going to work. And what is my plan B? So I love that you are sharing. In all honesty, that's where you were, because a lot of people relate to that for sure.
Yes. And I just knew from Create Your Killer program, just what I learned, how much you helped me, that this Master Coach training, a whole year of that was just my dream. And so,
Yes.
and so, uh, so at the start, I guess really it was, I had so much doubt in my marketing and especially my consult sessions. I didn't realize then until after I'd gone through the training that I was so activated in my consultations and I was really holding on to mm, the results of my marketing. So if I didn't get the right amount of likes, if I didn't, it felt horrible. It felt so bad. And I did try the 2K for 2K method. And, I tried networking and stuff. And I think the master coach training was just something else that I also needed. Once again, no shade. It's just something else that complemented it
Mm-hmm.
and kind of supercharged what I already knew.
So, as Lydia's talking about that, one of the things that we really look at quite a bit in master coach training, not only specifically in knowledge, but as we work together throughout the year, is recognizing like all of you as coaches, all of us as human beings, we can get emotionally activated at times that we don't even realize it, right? Our nervous system can have these responses that we're honestly so used to in our daily life of feeling a little bit of panic or a little bit of rush that it just seems normal to us. And so this is one of the gifts in understanding this, broader view that we work on in master coach training, not only for our clients but for us as coaches, right? Because like as Lydia is speaking to, if we're activated in those consultations, wow, like that is an energy that can be felt by the person on the other end. If we're activated, we're not really in the best space to be able to hold that connecting space in that consultation that's needed. So I mean, I just think that that's awareness for you of where that activation is such a big deal.
Absolutely. And it actually, what's so interesting about how the Master Coach Training Program is laid out is that while I'm learning these concepts and doing the guides and having discussions in class, not only am I learning it for my clients, I'm most importantly learning it for myself. And so I realized that while this these coaching tools are so useful for my clients, I am the biggest
Mhm.
benefactor or the
Mhm.
person that benefits the most. And also what I will say though is that it's not just the life coaching or the coaching, yeah, the life coaching concepts that we're learning. Molly, I think, really just this last quarter of this program is where I feel like I have become superhuman almost because
Mhm.
because
Yes.
just because we've been doing all this emotional work and you've been so consistent in how you coach. So I have felt the impact of your master coaching on myself when you coach us.
Mm.
And in our case studies, because Molly also provides so much support in the master coach training outside of what we learn. Also, we just bring in, case studies from our own clients. And also, for example, I even just brought up, you know, consultation sessions and asking Molly, what do I do? And Molly provided the framework for me. I literally watched the recording, typed up everything, and it's just such a clear framework for me to apply in my consultation. So, why I said that is it's not only just coaching concepts, but Molly has really helped me give me specifically what I needed to really lift off and not just sort of the emotional and coaching support, but also just technical skills as well, as
Mhm.
as much as we can provide technical skills and
Yes.
frameworks. So I just want to share kind of where I was before, where I am now, just in this little container of my consultation sessions. So previously I would be activated, really nervous, and I think kind of in this, like we call flight or fight response, that I would be really just focused on myself. Like, was that the right question? Where am I going with this? What
Mhm.
do I do with this? And it was a lot of that. And then
Mhm.
now I'm able to just focus on the client. like
Oh
completely.
my
Just
gosh.
what can, and Molly, like, because you provided me the framework, and it's almost like Create Your Killer program where I have a framework for my program. I also have a framework for my consultation sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's there. And so I'll have that in my back pocket and I'll be grounded. And then when the client comes in and I start sifting, asking her things, uh, and then when I realize that maybe the framework that I have doesn't completely match the client, meaning I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
meeting the client where they are in
Yes.
their journey. And then I have the ability to just breathe and take it to whatever she needs. And I know what she needs because of what we've been doing in master coach training. It's
Yes.
like,
Okay.
yeah.
I want to highlight this because I know we hear a lot about meet the client where we are or meet the client where they are, right? And a lot of coaches, they're like, what does that even mean, right? What does that mean? And what I'll say is you can describe what it means, but I think it's only when, like what you've described, when you've actually integrated this work that you're able to do it, right? And so as Lydia's talking about this, I want to back up and kind of give you all a picture of, so the idea is that there are specific frameworks that I teach, specific things you can do with your client. And more important than that is the freedom and space to support you as a coach to personalize and individualize it in a way that works for you. And then right alongside that, as you are learning more about advanced cognitive coaching, emotion work, the nervous system, and ways to integrate actions, and not to mention the specialties that we dip into, it's really equipping you as a coach and you as a person, right? Which is kind of what you're speaking to, Lydia, here of like this, you said like feeling superhuman. And I relate to that because when we do this deep work and we really integrate it for ourselves, it's giving you, Lydia, right, as a human and as a coach, the ability to be so present with yourself that you're able to be present with your client. So you have the framework. And then not only do you know how to personalize it, but you're able to feel calm, connected, and present enough to really show up for them, which is a big deal. I do think it's like a superpower that we can have and give to our clients.
No, totally. And then so that's exactly in the session. And also after the session, if they, how whatever happens, they don't follow up or whatever, I honestly, my body feels okay. And I'm actually excited to write the follow-up email because it's just really exciting because now I'm like, oh, I can tweak this part of my consultation at the end because I understand what the client is going through and how best to serve them. I know I
Yes,
kind of
yes.
jumped, but yeah.
But I think that's really relevant. And this is why I think that, as Lydia's talking, and it's like I'm having this scenario come into my head where a coach could coach Lydia on what she's feeling, right? And potentially Lydia could be coached on having more of an abundance mindset when they don't sign up, or what are you thinking that's causing you to be activated in this way? I haven't coached Lydia on any of this. What we've done is we've done the deep work, right? Of diving in and integrating master coach training where you're so connected with yourself and you have certainty in your skills and abilities, not just cognitively, not because you're thinking it, but because it's been integrated and you just are that coach. You just feel that certainty. You don't have to twist your thoughts around in order to create that feeling. It's just available to you.
It's wild, Molly, because during my run this morning, I was thinking, so where am I now as a coach and how did I even get here? And it's just the training that you provided. And it's not, I mean, and I don't want to say, just do this because you'll change as a human. I mean, you'll become
And
a better
yet,
coach.
and
Yeah.
yet, that's the thing. It's like I always feel like the the trick in all of this, it's not really a trick, but it's like the drive is to want to be a better coach, which is fantastic. And you will be that in bigger ways than you ever imagined. And I just, for sure, the very best part is how it changes us as a person, right? Like all of you, I look at all of you coaches and it's like, I love hearing that you're more confident in your consultations and that you're more prepared in your sessions and that they're easier. Like I love hearing all of that. And the favorite part is when I hear all of you saying things like, oh my gosh, I didn't react in this conversation with my husband like I normally do. Or, oh my gosh, I was able to just like be present with my kids. Everything feels easier. I'm at peace with myself, right? This is the thing. And for you all as coaches to experience that, that's the greatest joy for me. And then to know that in your coaching expertise, that is what you are able to gift to your clients. I mean, the ripple effect, right?
It's awesome. It's awesome. Like, for example, I went to a few networking events and I moderated a panel for my I'm an alumni at Stanford, and so I moderated this panel in LA. And I think before I did MCT, Master Coach Training, I would have just been focused on, okay, like whatever my expectations were before, and I need to meet people and get clients. This time around, it was just more like, Molly, it was just like, I love myself.
Mm.
Everything that I've done to prepare is more than enough, and I'm
Mm.
going to have an amazing time. And I it was like, I love myself. It was just, it was,
Awesome. It's the
yeah,
best.
it
Yeah.
was really cool.
It's like I always say, right? We finally get to this point where we can just like, I get to relax into being me. And just by showing up and right and doing what you do as a coach and being present and being able to do this, your business grows, you help people. It just happens so naturally when you're that self-connected and have those, not just the skills and abilities, but really get it at a deep level, which is just
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't need to do more, be more, or, add more pressure on myself. And so I went to these networking events. I had so much fun. I got like 4 or 5 new consults from them. And then when I
Amazing.
moderated the panel, I had prepared beforehand like I normally would. And I was so relaxed and had a great time. And people afterwards were saying, do you do this professionally? You were so
Mm.
good. And it was just so nice to hear that uh what I do is enough, you know?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, it was just great. Yeah.
And think about like what you shared just a few minutes ago, feeling like, I don't know if this coaching thing is for me, and feeling, the insecurities and the inadequacies and the doubt and thinking maybe you wouldn't do this, you would just see. And now as you're talking, it's like, I mean, I can feel it, I can hear it. It's like, this is just you. This is just what you do. And isn't it nice to have it feel, and I say effortless, knowing that we show up, right? We are definitely here. We are showing up. But there's an effortlessness when you're that connected with your skills and your abilities and you're able to do this. And then it's not really a question of if, it's just
Yeah.
we just do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm just doing it. And I want to say one more thing about kind of the structure of MCT, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Molly provides, recorded sessions, discussion, case study calls, master coaching calls, and oh my God, it sounds like a lot, but it's like every week is slightly different, but it's just the same. I'm sure people will figure this out when they,
Yeah.
look at all the details. I won't go into that, but I'm just saying that I'm learning, I'm interacting, I'm getting coached, I'm watching Molly get coached, and I can watch the recordings, and sometimes in my notes I'll write, okay, at time 32 minutes, go back to this part and write down what Molly is saying, and then kind of I analyze it, and then I see the framework. Anyways, it's just everything Molly does is amazing, and I've learned so much, and that's it.
Thank you. I promise you guys, this is not a sponsored episode.
No. It's
But I
not.
think that, well, I want to point something out also because there is so much there. And I think it's really important to understand that there's so much support there.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
think sometimes I know I can speak for myself. It's like when I'm going into a new program, one of the first things that, like, one of my filters in my decision is how much is this going to add to my schedule? How much of this is going to weigh me down? How much time is this going to take? Right. Because it's like every time we add something, we want to be conscientious of that. And that's one thing that is really unique is that this program is really set up to give all of the support you need. And yet it is not set up to be one more thing that is taking from you. And
absolutely.
part of that is just that's really a core concept that I teach even in the coaching space and for my coaches working with their clients is that every bit of work we're doing as coaches should be supportive of more energy of growth. It should never be a to-do list or a drag or we're not really able to make the changes that we want.
No, absolutely. And I haven't watched every class live, and I've Molly has the same schedule every week, and with different classes and all of that, but I pick my priority and I just
Mm.
make sure I am in that class participating and fully in. So yeah, it just works with whatever you want to get out of it.
Yeah, yeah. This is amazing. Okay, so Lydia, thank you so much for sharing this experience. And as we finish up, I would just love for you to articulate two or three of the biggest things that you experience now as a coach and in your business that are just really making a difference as a result of all of this.
Yeah, I mean, right now, honestly, for the first time of my life, I just see what I need to do. And I'm so excited to just do it and know that whatever I end up doing on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I know I'm doing the best of my ability at the time that I've been doing it. And that's enough. And
Mhm.
I'm just so ready to just crush it going forward.
Ah,
Just
yes,
yeah.
yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Just
And
crush
then,
it.
whatever happens, I learn, and then the next time I'll still be at whatever the best I can do at the time, but it's
Mhm.
enough. And honestly, that's just everything.
It is everything, everything. Because truly, like even just highlighting just that one thing, right? And I appreciate everything you've shared about like what you've gained and your confidence and the ease and just your ability to be present with your clients and how you feel. I mean, all of it. And even just highlighting this one thing of having something to do business wise and being excited, being ready, not feeling any of the dread or the pushback, but instead just being confident, knowing like my best is going to be good enough. And I do that. And then I do more. And I truly think that not just that mindset, but that ability to really embody that is the way that we create mastery because we move forward, we refine, we move forward, we refine, right? And it's just it's everything. Not to mention it feels a lot better than
Yeah.
all the worry and insecurity. All right, Lydia, thank you so much. Any last and also I want you to tell everyone where they can find you because we didn't even
Woo.
talk about your business. So I want you to tell people where they can find you. But any last words, anything else you want to say before we finish up?
No, Molly, there's so much more I can say. Are you kidding? But no, I'll be really sad when Master Coach training is over. I wish I could do it again every year.
Oh, well, and there is continued support. I know we're going to talk more about that and everything. So, yep, we're going to stay in this world for a while. So, yeah.
Cool,
Uh,
cool.
all right. Well, tell us, where can people find you? Tell us about you as
Yeah.
a coach.
Okay. So, just find me on my website. I just redid it. So check it out. And it was, I had so much fun redoing it. It's my first and last name, Lydia Bai, LYDIABAI.com. And I help professionals who are unsatisfied with their careers, decide what they want, trust themselves, and know that they can handle whatever comes up.
Amazing. Amazing. And you are living proof. You are living what you preach to help them with.
Yeah.
Yes, leading the way. All right, Lydia. And all of this, by the way, also will be in the show notes. So you guys definitely check Lydia out. She is a phenomenal coach. She is bringing together all of these different aspects of understanding you as a whole person. So definitely check her out and set up a consult, because we know she's going to be there and present with you on those consults. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Lydia.
Thanks, Molly.
All right. I'll talk with all of you next week. Thanks for being here. All right, Coach, that's what I've got for you. Thank you so much for being here. I know there are many ways you can spend your time and energy, and I am honored that you've chosen to be here with me. If you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you're up to date on the latest. And I would so appreciate a rating and review on this podcast. Share your experience so that other coaches can find their way here. Together, this is how we can raise the bar in the coaching industry. Let's support each other in being safe, effective, and ethical coaches. What you do as a coach matters. All right, Coach, let's connect. Discover free resources on my website, mollyclaire.com, and I'll talk with you next week.